I'm muted. I'm dealing with a location error that just got resolved, so I can pull this up. Realize that I don't even have this. Good morning to everybody. As you can tell, I'm slightly frazzled, slightly late. Had a slow-moving 2-year-old who doesn't care. He doesn't care that we're trying to go live at 8:30, but we're off and running. Let me hop right away into a BBM, because that's what the people truly are here for. This is BBM number 124, so I've only got 25 left, and we're gonna hop in right now. We are not going to stand on ceremony. Let me get the exposures rolling. We're waiting for 9. If you want to hop in, now is your chance. Let's get a little night driving going, and then let's check in on everybody. GM, hey, Whohames, thanks so much for coming in. And yeah, no, I realized it used to automatically mute you when you played the intro videos, and they don't do that anymore. It's like no longer the default. So I manually mute it, and then I forget to unmute it. B Grandy, GM to you. Thanks for coming in and hanging out. Correct mic. Mic is popping. Am I having mic issues? Let me see what my hold on. Camera, audio. I should be on the right mic. You're on headset mic. Oh, geez, Louise. Okay, hold on 1 second. It started popping at least. Okay, yeah. Let me know if it's fixed now. Thank you for letting me know. Thought the same, Dirty P. Okay. No, this when I started, I entered StreamYard before I actually had my mic plugged in, and sometimes it gets a little wonky. The mic is picking up your keyboard clicks. God, that's really annoying. I hope it stopped doing that. It sounds better, loud and clear. Okay, good. Thank you all. Thanks for letting me know. Yeah. I didn't realize how important having a dedicated mic was until I was until my last job, and realized I had done like Zoom interviews when you could hear my keyboard like absolutely just like pounding. And I was like, no wonder I didn't get hired for those jobs. I would not have hired me too. I wish somebody had said something, because it was it is important. It is important if you're doing Zoom for anything serious, or if you have like job interview, like don't just use your default laptop mic. A little production quality goes a long way. I don't think you don't need like a streaming setup, but just don't have the plebeian integrated microphone, or you're just not gonna sound good. Whoaim says if you enter before you log in, it uses the webcam mic usually. Yeah, it's weird. It said it was on this mic, but it said it was it was just like a different configuration. So hopefully this is better. Thanks everybody for coming in, hanging out, and bearing with me. So it looks like we got B Grandy there in the 12 hole, and I don't think I see anybody else I recognize in here. All right, Craig asks, what do we think will be the next small underdog contest? It's crazy for me they have a gap for even a day this close to the season. Yeah, it's funny. It's like, I feel like DraftKings did a really good job with those $7 tutties. They just kept rolling them constantly. And I don't know why Underdog just doesn't roll mini Dalmatians or $1, $3 contests and just make sure there's always one in the lobby. I just think that makes a lot of sense. Let's take Justin Jefferson. I mean, I feel like he'll be okay eventually. So we'll take him at 7. I'm a huge CMC guy. I like taking CMC at 7 quite a bit, but he didn't fall to us this time. That's okay. And we'll take some Justin Jefferson. But yeah, I don't know why they don't constantly have something low dollar. I mean, that's like something that everybody wants. Like high volume players want low dollar contests. And players with smaller bankrolls want low dollar contests. It's like everybody wants it. Nobody's going to be mad that there's a $3 contest or a $5 contest. And I know maybe they want to keep the puppies prestigious, so they don't want to just like rip out 10 puppies. Like maybe they consider that like their second flagship. I don't know. But to me, it just seems like they should always have some low dollar contest available for people. And they really didn't this year. I mean, it's like people are like, oh, look at the lobby, and there's like sprints and marathons, and there's stuff in the lobby. There's just not stuff at like a low price point. And if you have like a 3 max or a 10 max, it's like, well, if those contests are open for several weeks, a lot of people who will have maxed those already. The H8 injury is starting to scare me. I'm going to be honest, guys. The H8 injury is starting to worry me pretty heavily here. Let's take Chase Brown, somebody that I have no worries about and think is going to be awesome. So we'll get Chase Brown. We'll start with Chase Brown and Justin Jefferson, B. Grandy. He takes 2 of my favorite players. He takes Drake London Ladd. I love doing this because there's not going to be a lot of Drake London Ladd teams, and you could definitely make an argument that both of them are comparable to this first tier. For me, more so London than Ladd a little bit, but if you told me Ladd was a top 3 receiver this year, at the end of the season, I wouldn't be shocked whatsoever. And this combination, if it gets through, is going to be pretty rare. Greg says, the 6-pack contest would be way cooler if it was more than 10 rounds. I don't see an edge for the grinders in that. Yeah, Greg, I also wish they'd launched it earlier when, early in the season, again, going back to the complaint about low dollar contests not being there. It's like, I don't want to waste all my BBM bullets, and there was like nothing else to play. And they could just be constantly rolling out stuff, and mini best ball is something that I think would have been really fun to get into earlier in the cycle. I don't know how I feel. I like that they made it a little different. I don't mind the 10 round thing. It's kind of BR-ish. I think some of the value will, again, just like in Batch Bros Brawl, I think it'll be in scrolling down and getting players that are not going to be 100% owned, because I suspect I've only done one, and I kind of was like half paying attention. I've only done one of them, so I don't really know what the meta is. I've definitely heard arguments for like 1 QB versus 2 QB. I don't even know where I stand on that. For the audio listeners, we just took T. Higgins at 31, which I feel like is a pretty nice value. Getting Chase Brown and Higgins is something you normally get in the 1 or 2 hole paired with like Chase or Bijan. We paired him with Justin Jefferson. So it's a little bit unique. Maybe this is something you'd get out of the 2 hole in like June. So maybe this is actually not that unique, because Chase Brown certainly has steamed up the draft board, but maybe we'll pair them with some different players in the middle of the board, or get a June start with August knowledge. We'll tell ourselves that's what's going on here. So we've got Jefferson, Brown, and Higgins. B. Grandy's about to come up. Dirty P notes that 70% Ollie's feeling pretty good until B-Rob crashes the party. Man, if the Dolphins stand pat at running back, I'm going to wish I had a lot more Ollie Gordon. I have 5% overall. But that, I think, includes 101 Dalmatians, where I don't think I had him ranked super high, and Badge Bros Brawls, where I was not taking Ollie Gordon in that contest. So I got to see where I stand there. I'm curious. Maybe I'll look after this pick, but definitely someone I had a ton of pre-draft and thought that things were not really going his way, and now they're like very much going his way. I heard yesterday he was running with the ones. Apparently also dropped the handoff, but what are you going to do? I'm just glad he's out there. Who aims? I think they would if the marathon and sprint were filling. Underdog needs to scrap the marathon. Yeah, I think they do too. There's just not demand for that, or they need to just make it really cheap. All right, let's see what we're getting here. I would really prefer Worthy. If Worthy goes, I'm going to take JMO, because I'm going to try to get Burrow on this team. I think he makes a lot of sense. Terry McLaurin goes, so we're going to take Xavier Worthy here. So I like the team we've got. We've got Chase Brown, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, and Xavier Worthy on the crew. So I floated this idea on Liam's stream, where now BBM has that full season component to it, or season long component where the top regular season scorers get a prize. I think they should do it. And I think the issue might be some legality where it's like, in a casino, when you play blackjack, there's that little like bonus thing where if you put like a $5 chip, you're eligible for like, if you do this, you get paid 2 to 1, that 10 to 1, or there's like a jackpot. I think when you join BBM, you should be able to click a button and pay an extra $5 and then be entered into a side season-long contest. I think that would be cool. And then all the money for the side contest would come from the people that want to participate. And it would be like almost like a pari-mutuel. So whoever wants to participate in that. And I think they could do that for anything. I think they could do that for, if you want to pay more, participate in a side contest that rewards whatever. Like they could really almost like start expanding some of their pick-a-me kind of stuff into it, where you can like attach your BBM to other side contests. I don't know, because I think it's very polarizing whether people actually want BBM entries going into the season-long contest, which is like almost a different game. So anyway, it was just something I thought would be kind of an interesting concept, and I have no idea if they even could do that. We probably need another running back here. I'm going to try to push Burrow. I'm so out on Breece Hall. I just really don't like him. But maybe I really should take him at pick 55. This is so much later than he was going. We're getting it in very good. We'll take the shot on Breece at 55. I mean, we were taking him way early. So we'll give it a whirl there at pick 55. All right. Huhaim says B-Rob needs to land in Chicago. Yeah, the Swift people. If the Swift people can't get there, right? The Swift people can't get there. I would also hate that my man Manungai just needs a few touches. Yeah, Manungai. Last I heard, he was being pancaked in a pass pro, but maybe that's gone a little bit better. Dirty P says, I even had Ali. 14% Ollie in the original Puppy Zero and Big Board. I'm not sharp. I just thought Wright and Madison suck. Wright sucks. And I'm mad at myself for having any Wright. But I was just like, I guess he's the guy, despite the fact that every time I watched Wright, he was running like sideways. Like just no instincts to get downhill at all. Artillery Frost, GM to you. GM, thanks so much for coming in. B Spurf says, GM, hey, GM, Artillery Frost, B Spurf, thanks so much for coming in and hanging out this morning. James, Chad, you described the BBM leaderboard. Yeah, but I'm saying is we have to participate in the BBM leaderboard. Like there are people who think we're playing a game where week 17 is all that matters, but then you get paid off for leading the contest after week 14. And those are two very different things. Oh my God, why did that guy take Joe Burrow there? Dear God, we simply cannot have nice things. We simply cannot have nice things. I like Golden, but let's get another running back because running back's gotten so thin. I really thought I was going to get Burrow. Why did you take him? You have no reason to do that, Fuentesy. All right. Whatever. That's what we get for drafting in on August 21st. All right. Dirty P says, that's how I got on Horton early, 0 big board, but post-draft, I saw his competition was Cup and MVS. Felt like opportunity. Yeah, I mean, you can identify those market inefficiencies and kind of skate to where the puck is going. And if you liked Horton as a prospect, then he certainly landed somewhere where he got very favorable target competition, or target competition is the wrong word, but a receiving room that he could compete with there. Dirty P says, all right, victory lap incomplete. Got to take him where you can get him. Hey, I agree. I mean, we don't know how the season's going to roll out, but if we got to at least feel good about our teams in August. To your point about side contests, the price point is so high and the advance rate is so severe. Why not reward strong teams that run into the bad week? Yeah, I guess, I mean, that's certainly a fair point, but like, if you want to reward the strong teams, then play marathon is like my point. Like it's like two very different contests. Like I think I like the regular season process because I agree with that. The pod luck and stuff is so is so punishing. Let's take Mahomes here because people are just doing wild stuff with QBs, and we have Pacheco and Worthy. I like the stuff, but there are people that think that it is not good. Like, I think Liam is against it, and I certainly see Liam's point. I don't know where I stand on it. But I think if you ask Methodology, he wasn't expecting to get rewarded that year for building a regular season juggernaut, right? Like, I don't know. I see it both ways. And I feel like if you made it like an optional side contest, then it would be kind of, I don't know. Maybe that's a bad idea. But anyway, candles getting candled. Yeah, that was karma. That was karma for me. For doing that on Davis's stream in like late May, I suppose. I had that coming to me there. ATX Bearcat GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in and hanging out with us this morning. Uaim says, I think if they never added a regular season prize point at any point, people wouldn't talk about it as much and never on people's mind. Yeah, because it was there and then it wasn't. So it's kind of like come back and forth. So I agree. Like if they never rewarded regular season, then it wouldn't have been a big deal the year that it disappeared. Let's take Hawkinson. So we've got Jefferson. I think Hawkinson makes sense. And this team, wide receiver is grim. Wide receiver is very grim at this point in the draft. For the audio listeners, we've got Mahomes, Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Isaiah Pacheco, wide receiver room of Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, and Xavier Worthy, and TJ Hawkinson at tight end. I like the team. Would I like it more if I had Burrow instead of Pacheco? Maybe not, because now we got a Mahomes double. So who knows? Sometimes things break your way and you don't even realize it at the time. Wow. Hawkinson goes, then Andrews goes, then Warren goes, then Kelsey goes. I don't know if I've seen this before where they literally go back to back to back to back. That's kind of interesting. Makes me feel better about getting Hawkinson at pick 90. Let's check what our friend B. Grandy did. So he opened with London and Ladd, added Devontae Adams, Travion Henderson, Steph Diggs, Debo Samuel, Jalen Warren, and Jaden Higgins. I like the team so far. I'm very high on Debo. And I think I now agree with Warren over Caleb. I think I've come to that viewpoint at this point with what we know. Dolphins vibes feel bad. Yes, evergreen tweet. I've got my Dolphins shirt on. I'm sadly a Dolphins laundry bro. And the vibe continues to deteriorate. DQ 105. But I do appreciate you coming in, hanging out. And, in spite of it, we're still going to take the occasional Dolphin. It's a tough scene. It's a tough scene. Yeah, Greg knows. Greg's more of a fan. He's got the dolphin in the avatar. All right, let's see. Bunch of quarterbacks here. I don't think any of them make a great deal of sense for the team. I think my preferred pick would be Rashid Shaheed. Godwin's interesting. Godwin could be very strong late season, but I think I do want a fourth receiver who's going to be playing football early on. So let's get Shaheed. I got 2 week 10 buys, so Shaheed's going to have to play quite a bit on this crew. Let's see what our other options are. All right. McDaniel admitting we have no secondary, and a whole plan is to try to hide that via the pass rush. It's the Bengals. Yeah. Well, I mean, bad defense is usually good for your fantasy offenses, and thankfully, that's all we care about in BBMs. And I am much more invested in best ball than I am in the regular season at this point. So I'm okay with that. The defense can stink as long as the offense can try to keep up. Now, Krosky Merritt watch ends. Pick 107 for those keeping track at home. Jacory Krosky Merritt goes there. Board is rapidly whipping around. B. Grandy went Drake May and Njoku back to back. Question for us is, what do we want to do? Another receiver. We could take McCarthy here because he might not come back. Where's the Addison drafter? The Addison drafter has Josh Allen. The Addison drafter has Josh Allen, but there's no guarantee they'll pass on McCarthy. Justin Fields is really interesting here. Justin Fields, Breece Hall thing. I do feel a little light on receiver, perhaps. So part of me wants Kirk. Kirk feels I'm not going to click anything else in time. Kirk feels a little triple condom. I'm going to be honest, but also might just be a really good pick this year. So we'll take Christian Kirk. We'll take the slot demon. Now I feel like there's a little less pressure for me to have to take some of that mid-tier of receiver. Let's hope we get JJ McCarthy wrapping around, but we may not. So I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe I should have taken McCarthy, but with Mahomes, I felt like I could potentially push it. The only issue I now have is I don't really have a good secondary option except for maybe Stroud, but don't necessarily love forcing the stack between your fifth receiver and then your quarterback. At that point, start wondering if it makes more sense to take like a Cam Ward with some rushing upside, but we'll see. We'll see what the room gives to us. I ideologically don't know if I can take McCarthy ahead of Fields, but let's see if we get either of them. I mean, my gosh, Justin Fields, if he was at pick 127, I mean, what are we doing here? That would be kind of nuts, but hopefully the fact that Fields and Goff are here are enough of a carrot. If any of these guys take a quarterback, that we can at least get our McCarthy double there. Jared DP says the Burrow dilemma is fraught with peril. I'm overweight Chase on Higgins. I only have 6% Burrow. Hard to fade a field of shameless donkeys. I mean, I guess donkeys got to eat too. I don't know what else to say. This Fuentesy guy is live to just take two more quarterbacks. Who knows? So they take I don't know, guys. I do have the Minnesota double, but I'm too much of a fish to pass on Fields at pick 127. I just don't care about some preseason games of him not looking good. If it burns me, it burns me. What are you going to do? But we're going to sacrifice that. Also, I mean, Breece Hall could be a check down merchant for Fields. So we'll try something a little different there. So for the audio listeners, we've got Mahomes and Fields. We've got Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Isaiah Pacheco, Justin Fields, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, Rashid Shaheed, Christian Kirk, and T.J. Hawkinson. So we risked it all, not getting the double, but let's see what comes around to us. Greg, but yeah, I mean, 6% Burrow. If you're always pushing Burrow and you got to 6%, I feel like that's actually pretty good because I feel like you're going to have better Burrow teams than most. Greg says, I still think the Chubb chop on the edges with fit. Oh, yes. Sorry, we're on Dolphins. I was thinking. Anyway, yes. I still think Chubb Robinson on the edges with Phillips in the middle will be kind of fun to watch at times. Judon switching to spell Chubb. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have a good pass rush. There's a chance that our, fantasy defense is not bad. Like if the Dolphins get a big lead and teams have to throw on them, they could generate sacks generate fumbles can generate touchdowns. So it could be, it could be live to be a somewhat reasonable team from a fantasy perspective, but we'll see. Hopefully. Who aims? Terrence, how do you feel about JCM being ahead of B-Rob since you were always on JCM? Too high or fine? Terrence answers too steamy, but I don't like B-Rob either. Who aims? Hartman and I got Fields at 120. Yeah, I mean, this bad preseason game is giving a generational buying opportunity, and we're just going to windmill in McCarthy. We're going to get the triple stack, fellas. We got it. We got Mahomes, Fields, JJ McCarthy, running back room, Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Isaiah Pacheco. Wide receiver room, Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, Rashid Shaheed, and the slot demon himself, and then T.J. Hawkinson at tight end. So this is a pretty good QB room. It's a pretty good QB room, and if we can get there in the later rounds, I'm going to really like the way that this team came out. All right, let's see. Fields at 120 is, I just don't know what we're doing. I think JCM 130s-ish could get behind as a swing. 110 can't do. Who aims? I agree. To me, it's like the Tootin line. It's hard for me to take Krosky Merritt ahead of Tootin at this point, and maybe that's a little fishy of me. But I I don't know. I mean, I think the new regime that we think is going to be super explosive, taking a guy that we fell in love with, at the combine, people were even excited about him before. They obviously like Krosky Merritt a lot, but they have Eckler who's going to work in a lot. Daniels is going to take a lot of the rushing, and then Chris Rodriguez is apparently not bad. I mean, it's like he looked pretty good out there, and he came in before Krosky Merritt. So I don't know. To me, if I'm looking at the end of the season, week 17, who's more likely to be going off? To me, it's Tootin, but I don't want to have no Krosky Merritt either. Like I don't know. I don't know where I stand at that. I think. Hold on. I gotta pick a player. Let's take Dylan Sampson here. Let's do that. I think I don't know if Judkins is like when he's gonna sign. I think Sampson is still a fine click, and with Flacco, maybe that offense is moving things a little bit. Sampson's a guy that I've been pretty light on, but I don't mind getting a share. I don't mind getting a share there because I think he's going to be pretty involved. My running back room, though, it's a little unfortunate. I've got 2 week 10 and 2 week 9 buys, so I'll probably get to 6 running backs on this team, but we'll see. I guess it'll depend on who we get there after. Greg says you can skip my defense talk. I'm trying to coat myself out of a Dolphins spiral at 9 a.m. Hey, it's if you're a Dolphins fan, the only talk we have is spirals, is shame and shame spiral of the Miami football Dolphins, because it's just so brutal rooting for this team. They just can't get out of their own way. But let's see what we can get on this team. Maybe this is a 2 tight end team. If we have Hockenson and we like who we get next, maybe we can afford to make this a 3-6-7-2 team. We're going to treat this like Hawk is the guy. And frankly, the Vikings receivers keep getting injured. I mean, Naylor's been dealing with a hand thing. Addison got injured. I mean, he's suspended. These all sound minor, but it could be a lot of Hockenson early in the year. I really like Chig. I like Chig quite a bit, so let's get Chig. I think I'm okay with Chig and Hawk. If I end at 2 tight ends, I can tell myself that's good enough, and now focus on some other positions. Terrence Judkins is an absolute smash when he gets there. Probably. I'm just worried, like, when is that going to happen? Like, he's still not signed. Like, rookie missing all of training camp, not signed, and then it's going to have to eat a suspension from the league. That's probably going to be around, like, 6 games. Like, I don't know. The bet keeps getting thinner. But again, we have to remember we're playing this for week 17. But I'm still not sure. I mean, if Sampson is playing well, like if Sampson's good, why are they just going to take, stop doing that? I mean, he's a young guy too. I mean, he was a 4th round pick. He wasn't like, he wasn't like a 6th or 7th round flyer. So I just don't know. The vibe on Judkins is not good. Like, I just can't believe they haven't signed him yet. Yeah, I just want to look at what do I want to do here? What do I want to do? I think I want Ollie Gordon if I can get him. I'm pretty into that. Tesla was who I wanted late, but I guess I was not as up on Tesla's price. Tesla as a bring back to the Jefferson stuff would be kind of fun. I don't have pretty light on week 17 stuff on this team right now, but that's okay. If I can get Gordon, Rico Dowdle's a guy that I have a metric ton of, but I think I want more Gordon. I think the drumbeat on Gordon is pretty darn deafening at this point. So let's get him into the team there. Who Hames? I'm pretty sure I heard on the Fantasy Football Today crew placing a 90 pick price on JCM. I mentioned this as a gauge for how the normies may handle JCM. Yeah, I mean, if the normies are in on it, then also the hyphenated name. I really feel like there's a bump to hyphenated names, guys. I don't know what it is. It just sounds exciting. Like maybe that's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard, but I do feel like normies are suckers for hyphenated name players. Pocket Flex Comb. Terrence, I don't know what Pocket Flex Comb is. I'm sorry. Puts downward pressure on price value proposition. Terrence, see, I know you're also an attorney, but I think you're a better attorney. So I think you're making points that are going over my head right now. So I don't know exactly what you're referring to with the Pocket Flex Comb. Greg VS, I'll just take Eckler at these prices. Yeah, that could just be the answer, is more Eckler. Although I am of the view that Eckler kind of like has his job. That's just going to kind of be what it is. Let's just take Slayton here. I think this is kind of a vegetable-y pick, but not all of my picks have to be not all of the picks have to be like total moonshots. I think Slayton, though, as your sixth wide receiver, feels pretty good there. So let's get him into the fold. I really do think this team could potentially stop at 6 there. So now we're at Pocket Flex Bomb. I'm still not getting there. I'm sorry. Rookie Madness. Yes, people also do love the mystery box of the rookie. I don't think the price is coming down or leveling. He could steam up to Mason Monty. I will get no more of him if he's in that range. Yes. Who Aims agreeing with Greg. Darkside Dev Tootin is RB3 on his team. Merritt could be RB1. I feel like that's not an unreasonable take. Darkside Dev, thanks for coming in, hanging out as well. Who Aims says I believe they're essentially the same bet. So that's kind of where I'm at. Who Aims. Also, by the way, 32 minutes in. If you can, please like and subscribe. I'd set a like goal to do another draft, but you all know I'm going to do I'm going to do another one, so I won't even pretend. But if you could please like and subscribe, it would mean a ton to me. Greg scooped Chris Rod at 200 in that week 1 to 4 limb. Felt good. I like that too. Eckler's one hit away from retiring or irrelevance. Yeah, that concussion last year was pretty brutal. They have his old butt returning kicks. Yeah, well, I mean, because his old butt is still, has some juice. I mean, he's still pretty good. That's fair. They seem to be unconcerned about that. All right, we're coming up on the clock. What do we want to do here, folks? It's I'd say it's thin, but it's not like horrifically thin here. Let's take a guy that I think should be going a little higher than he is in DJ Giddens. I like me some DJ Giddens. He seems to have won the backup job. We know that Jonathan Taylor has a propensity to get injured, and with Daniel Jones at QB, I think that bodes well for Taylor. If something happens to Taylor by extension, I think that makes Giddens unironically potentially like a league-winning type pick that you can get in round 17. So we'll add him to the crew. And then let's see, what else do we want here? We could take, I almost feel like taking another running back, but Jefferson, Higgins, Worthy, Shaheed, Kirk, Slayton, not horrible overlapping buys, not anything I feel like I'm like really need to worry about. Let's just see what the room is going to give to us here. Lambert Smith, I like. Malik Washington has been getting a little bit of buzz. Jalen Naylor's hurt. Not the most scintillating range in the world. Let's queue up Harold Fannin. Let's add Harold Fannin to the team. We've got Samson here, so we'll make a little bit of a bet on some exciting stuff happening in Cleveland this season, maybe even late in the season. If Njoku is live to get traded, he's on the last year of his contract, and Fannin did rest with the starters. So we'll make this a 3-6-6-3. So we got Mahomes, Fields, and JJ McCarthy, Chase Brown, Breece Hall, Isaiah Pacheco, Dylan Sampson, Ollie Gordon, and GJ Giddens. Wide receiver room of Justin Jefferson, T. Higgins, Xavier Worthy, Rashid Shaheed, Christian Kirk, Darius Slayton, and TJ Hawkinson, Chig Okonkwo, and Harold Fannin Jr. I like this team. I feel like this team came out pretty good. I feel like it tells a good story here. Let me catch up with chat, and then we'll hop into another one. All right. Huhames thinks it's similar. Tootin had more draft capital, and JCM versus Tootin is an interesting debate. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Huhames. And to me, that's why I'm like, I feel like they're so close that I can't take JCM 40 picks ahead of Tootin. I feel like they're way too similar to do that. And arguably, I think to me, I just fall on the Tootin side. But I don't I don't want to like get 0 JCM in the last 2 weeks of the draft. That could just be, if he's who you need, he's who you need, right? Like whatever the cost. So especially in time box stuff, if you're doing like the stuff that opened in the last week or opens today, like just get him if you want him, like, because you're not competing against teams that got him in the 170s or 200s. FK Coolers, Godwin not starting in the season on PUP, but still not expected to play until October. So that would be the first 4 games. Interesting there, but probably good he's not on PUP. Very interesting there. Godwin. Okay. Had a nightmare last week. Keenan Allen retired. RM covers. First of all, GM, thanks for coming in and hanging out. I don't have enough Keenan Allen to get nightmares about it, but it, that wouldn't be good for some of our bags. I think I'm only at like 5% Allen, which I hate because I thought I was taking him like above market and I'm like actually below market. Yeah, that would be brutal for the big board bags. RM covers having best ball dreams. Yeah, Greg, I actually was having DFS golf dreams. So I'm with you there. We're in too deep here. Love the 12 spot. If that RB room works out, I'll love my squad. RB Grandy, I'm going to go over yours once I catch up with the chat. Dirty P, nice squad. Shahid added weight this offseason. Love to hear it for wide receivers. Hate to hear it for running backs. Yeah, I like this team. I like Shahid. I think he's kind of one of the last lifeboats in that round 10, 11 range. I guess he went around 9. So that round 9 to 10 range, I think he's one of the few guys. Yeah, no pup means they think he's okay enough to ramp him up for October games. Yeah, to me, that's kind of bullish. Let's check in on B Grandy. So B Grandy, I think it's easier to view the teams like this so you can get a better sense of what's going on. All right, so B Grandy goes with a 3-5-7-3 with Drake May, Justin Herbert, Matt Stafford, strong QB room, Travion Henderson, Jalen Warren, Braylon Allen, Nick Chubb, and Miles Sanders. So you are still drafting Miles Sanders, which I like because I have so much Miles Sanders. I hope he's still draftable. I hope he's still a thing because I am way overweight on him and I'm starting to get scared. So I'm glad to see that you have him, but I like this. I like Henderson, Warren, and Allen. They're, if you're going to go, lighter on running back draft capital, those are some of the targets I like quite a bit. Drake London, Lad McConkey, Devontae Adams, Steph Diggs, Deebo Samuel, Jaden Higgins, and Roman Wilson. I like the receiver room. Your quarterbacks were May, Herbert, and Stafford. So you were able to stack your 2 through 4 receivers. I like that. And then Njoku, Henry, and Mason Taylor. Strong tight end room there. Yeah, B Grandy, I like your team. Yes, and I think you correctly identified the if the running back room gets there, you're going to be in good shape. And I like Travion and May. I think that's fun with Diggs. I mean, you've collected the infinity stones of the New England offense there. All right, let's do it again. But yes, I'm going to do it, but please throw a like or two. If you sub, all the better. This is BBM 125. We are down to the wire. Thanks so much again, everybody, for hanging out. We're waiting for 8, so no excuses. If you missed this one, then you just didn't want to be in the draft. All right. Dirty. Oh, I already read that. All right. Greg said, what did the dream say? Chad, I need to build a few tomorrow. Well, you got to build a few today because it's Thursday. So the tournament begins in like 2 hours. I had a dream that Bobby Mack won, but I'm not rostering him. And so now I'm like, if I don't roster Bobby Mack in my DFS lineup and he wins the tour championship, I'm going to feel like an ass. But that's what it was. But I have no idea. My dreams have not been accurate as far as golf DFS for what it's worth. FK Coolers. Oh, I already read that. All right. We are caught up with chat. We're waiting for 4. If anyone wants to hop in, please feel free. I feel like I was going to check the exposure I had on somebody and don't remember who it was. Maybe it was Ollie Gordon. I'm just curious. Let me see what my exposure is. I'll look pre-draft because I know I was taking Ollie Gordon a lot. Let's see. Gordon. 21% pre-draft Ollie Gordon. Good God. Well, hopefully that pick does pay off. And then let's see what I keep clicking the same thing. Not great. That's not what I want to do. Back. Ollie Gordon exposure, 12-person tournaments. I'm just going to take off the $1 ones because, again, those are all auto drafts that I don't particularly care about. There must be a better way to do this, but if there is, I don't know it. All right, let's see. So out of the 471 teams that were not $1 ones, we have 8.7% Ollie Gordon with a truly demonic amount. So maybe we'll have to draft him here to change the entry fees on Ollie Gordon. We don't want that kind of bad energy here, but yeah, plenty of Ollie Gordon here. I guess these are my overall exposures, but I think the draft is starting. So let's go over to it. We're 2 picks away. We're already 2 picks away. We're live. We're in the 3-hole, and CD Lamb has flipped everybody. I mean, my God here. So do we want CD Lamb at the 3, or do we want to do something else? I guess we'll take CD Lamb. I mean, what are we doing here? We're not going to be mad to have a CD Lamb team. So we started last one with a Jefferson team, and now we'll start with a CD Lamb team. Let's see. Did anybody get in here? Dirty P, I see you in here at the 8, B Grandy at the 6, and B Spurf at the 12. So we've got a true friends and family room here. Off we go. Greg says, I just do the dailies, missed the boat today. Too much going on. Bobby Mack. Oh, Greg, please do not roster Bobby Mack on a fever dream of mine. Steve Schaub. Hey, GM to you. Thanks so much, Steve, for coming in. Steve, I actually fell asleep listening to Best Ball Jeopardy over on Fanspeak last night. So I need to listen today because I don't know who won. But I was fading fast. I was trying to stay up for it, and it failed miserably. Eddie says, I have a team with Rashee Rice, Godwin, and Addison, so week 5 should be a solid exchange. Yeah, Eddie. Yeah, just passing the torch after the suspension announcement comes out. But I am worried about intentionally building that. First of all, Eddie, by the way, thank you so much for coming in and hanging out. Good morning to you. I'm worried about doing that like on purpose, saying like, okay, Rashee Rice and Addison is like a good strategy, because it very well may be, but the NFL and the Chiefs could agree to a suspension before. If the Chiefs start getting worried that the suspension stuff drags on and they'll start missing like the actual playoff weeks or something. So if that happens and he's actually is suspended early on, then your team's going to be like not built the way you think it is. Like that is still live. That is still live to happen. Although everything people predicted about the Rashee Rice stuff has been like completely wrong. Hey, money flying away. Yes. That should be my my avatar here. B-Spurf, doing any of the first quarter? That thing is already half full. I am not B-Spurf. I don't know if I can flip my brain to that, but also it might just be like, don't draft Chris Godwin and Judkins. Like that might be the key. Like I think there's a lot of people drafting dead teams in that. So maybe that's one of those contests where there's actually like a legitimate edge, because I think a lot of people are drafting poorly. And so you probably can just get some plus EV by playing it with some logic. I don't know any of the, I'm going to take Jonathan Taylor here. As I noted earlier, I think that the Colts running game is going to benefit a lot from it being Daniel Jones over A-Rich. Of course, if it's week 17, it's reversed. That's going to seem stupid, but I do like Jonathan Taylor regardless. But yeah, B-Spurf, I feel like if you really want to get into the weeds, you can start looking up at like who has the favorable week 1 through 4 matchups, like team totals, because you only have to learn 4 weeks of games for that kind of stuff. It's kind of like learning which teams have the good playoffs. And let's just take Tyreek. I mean, imagine getting Tyreek and CD Lamb last season. That was like the 102 and 103. So that seems good. Let's do that. So I don't know. I feel like if you're willing to grind the edge, there's actually is like quite a bit of edge in that contest. I just don't have the time to do that. Yeah, there's a lot of dumb stuff happening. Okay, good. I have to imagine like Judkins just doesn't go undrafted, and he should literally go undrafted. Like I can't imagine someone seeing him oh, he's got an ADP of 160, and it's the 18th round. They're like, I got to do it. It's like, nope, don't do that. It was an old draft for sure. It's dead if not. Yeah. No, I have a lot of I have a lot of teams that when I look at them, they're super dead. A lot of Judkins in the late 60s, early 70s. It's really unfortunate. And I remember sweating the Judkins versus Caleb stuff a lot. And now I'm like, it was Judkins, Caleb, and Travion all went in a range. And I was just trying to mix up who I took. And now it's like anytime I didn't pick Travion, I'm like, Joe's not great, because the Caleb stuff is not been the best. I still think he's going to be okay, but I think he's going to fall into the 90s by the time this is all said and done. Kenny Gainwell's going to be annoying. I'm not saying draft Kenny Gainwell, but he's going to eat snaps that we want. He's going to eat passing down work that we want. And Jaylen Warren is like a competent NFL running back, which is like kind of all they need. And Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if he's going to tolerate like a rookie protecting him. Like I think he's going to call some of the shots to some degree or other. So just have a little bit of concerns there. So Beast Burf over there, he takes Puka, AJ Brown, Kittle, and Jalen Hurts. So going to be, I think that's going to be somewhat unique. I think there's going to be teams that have this, but from the 8 hole, that's going to be a little more common. But Beast Burf's now going to be picking on the turn, so we'll probably get some uniqueness there. But definitely really like the Hurts Brown start for him. Dirty P also goes elite quarterback. He goes Nico, London, Trey McBride, and Jaden Daniels. I'm the only fool who's not going to have an elite quarterback here. So I don't know what to tell you guys, but hopefully we can land this plane anyway. Terry McLaurin goes. If we can't get an elite quarterback, why don't we get a Dallas double stack? We'll take George Pickens there. So we've got Jonathan Taylor, CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, and George Pickens. FK Cooler is agreeing with the dumb stuff going on. They're talking B-Rob to the Dolphins, says Darkside Dev. Yeah, that's the rumor, and that's going to send Ali Gordon to the shadow realm of shadow realms if that happens, I am afraid. Because I think, although I say that, B-Rob's not that good, but I feel like if the Dolphins trade for him, it's just going to take him like a full season to figure that out, which is going to be like super duper annoying. Sutton goes. I'm a little confused. I swear I saw, something's wrong. Oh my gosh, Metcalf's here. All right. Let's take Metcalf. I don't tiebreak often to bye weeks, but I'm going to tiebreak to a bye week in this situation because I don't necessarily want all three, and I'm kind of 50-50 on Metcalf and Ridley, and I find myself taking a lot more Ridley, so I don't want to be like wildly overexposed there. But yeah, I had my scroll bar. I've definitely made a few drafting errors, not realizing I wasn't scrolled all the way to the top. So we add Metcalf to the team. B. Grandy, he gets Lamar and Flowers. That's nice to get that from the middle of the board. So Jackson at 30, Flowers at 54. Nice start from B. Grandy there. Dirty P, he adds Ken Walker to his team, and around the corner we go. Eddie Perez says, I have a team with Bucks, Eagles, and Browns stack week 9. I have like 11 players on bye. It's a DK draft. Yeah. Well, hopefully your other guys fill in nicely. I'm by no means a bye week bro. But in that case here, I did kind of want to tie break it just ever so slightly. And I also think I'm heavier on Ridley than Metcalf, as much as I like both of them. I think in a vacuum, I prefer Ridley to him, but not enough to like do it every time. So B-Spurf takes Travis Hunter and Deebo Samuel. I love that. A big fan of Deebo. Been taking Deebo hand over fist. And I like taking Travis Hunter at pick 60 because people were taking him a full round earlier. So I like to start there from B-Spurf. Eddie says there's a pre-scheduled drop team. Yeah. There are some of those pre-scheduled drop teams that just look a little funky now. Last year I had a week 14 bye apocalypse because I was taking a ton of Knicks and Daniels. I believe they were both week 14 buys, and I was doing 2 QB builds even before the schedule, which seems kind of bad. And week 14 came and my advance rate declined. It declined going into the playoffs, which I knew it would because I was overweight teams with week 14 stuff. So for some reason, Burrow appears like he's going to make it to me, which is cool because when I didn't get him last time, so that's super fun. Let's see what TK0 does. Please don't take Tony Pollard. If this guy takes Tony Pollard, oh, he doesn't. We get Tony Pollard. All right. Well, now I wish I had Calvin Ridley, but you know what? We can't win them all, folks. We'll take Tony Pollard, another week 10 bye, but I really wanted a running back in this draft slot here. Let's see what the room is willing to hand to us. Just mentioned how I don't love Caleb there. Laporta would be a little bit of a bailout click for me for lack of knowing what the heck else to do. I don't really want to take any of these other running backs past ADP, and I think it's just far too early for me to take. You know what we're going to do? Actually, we're going to take Jerry Jeudy here. I'm light on Jeudy, and he's past ADP, and I don't necessarily need to just bail out and take Laporta. I think Jeudy with Flacco is something that I'm a lot more interested in than I was. Will Flacco be playing in the money weeks? No, but hopefully by the money weeks they've settled on some competency. So we'll throw Jerry Jeudy into the mix there. Again, I don't want to be completely out on this guy. I was pretty light on him all off season, and now I'm like, all right, let's get to 4 or 5% and feel a little better. Dark Side Dev, I'm addicted to teams with week 8 class. Yes, week 8 and week 10 for me are going to be bipocalypses this season. That is undoubtedly how I'm going. I'm very lucky that the Jets have a weird bye week. There's not a lot of week 9 buys. It's like them and the Eagles, and I guess Cleveland, but I don't tend to take a ton of Cleveland because I have a lot of Garrett Wilson Fields stuff. But yeah, weeks 8 and 10. And then to a lesser extent, I think week 12. Week 12 isn't great. But yeah, it is funny how the buys are not uniform. There are different numbers of teams on each bye week, which is a little weird the way the NFL does it. But yeah, I always like when I have a Colt or a Saint because they have week 11 buys, and I feel like that is you're never like, oh no, week 11 is going to be bad unless you have a really weird team. So I'm happy to pick up a week 11 guy because I'm like, all right, that's fine. That's when I can stuff my bye weeks into that one. All right. Let's see what our friends are doing. B Grandy, he gets a little bit of a Lions double with Montgomery and Laporta. Dirty T6, RJ Harvey, Jordan Mason, and Jaden Higgins. Like that. B-Spurf adds Jaden Reed and Aaron Jones. So taking a little NFC North situation there, like both those picks. Jaden Reed has shed the walking boot and appears to be alive and well, which is exciting stuff here. In the ideal world, we'll get one of Coleman or Pittman. If we don't get one of Coleman or Pittman, not really sure what I want to do. I'm going to try to push Dak Prescott, hoping that somebody does not for no reason at all. We're going to get to 6 receivers very early on this team. I don't build a ton like this. I find myself taking a lot of late receiver, but I want to mix up the way I'm doing some builds. So we are going to try a very 2024 strategy, at least for the way I have been treating this season, with a lot more early running back firepower. But with Taylor and Pollard, I feel like I can risk it. So my gosh, if Dak doesn't come back to me, I'm going to tilt my face off and figure something else out. But let's see, we're holding on for dear life that Mr. Blaster doesn't for some reason rip off an unstacked Dak. If that happens, then I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do on this team. We will be in a world of pain. He does not take unstacked Dak, thank heaven. So we get Dak. We get the Dak double, and we fight another day. So for the audio listeners, we've got a 1-2-6-0 with Dak, Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, CD Lamb, Tyreek Hill, George Pickens, DraftKings Metcalf, Jerry, Jeudy, and Michael Pittman Jr., and nobody in the tight end room just yet. All right. B-Spurf notes that week 8 will get you. Yeah, week 8. Week 8 is really tough. Week 8 is so tough. And I feel like some of the late, I was taking a lot of Diami Brown, and he has a week 8 bye. So he wasn't like the best late wide receiver fill-in guy. I'm starting to get a little nervous on Diami Brown. He's been slipping in drafts. That one beat reporter said that Parker Washington was fighting for that job. I'm just choosing to say that's nonsense because all the great things we heard about Dynamic Brown early in the year. But if Parker Washington truly is winning that job, I'm going to lose all my money because I have like almost 20%, like 18% Dynamic Brown, which might end up looking really, really foolish at a certain point. Now, B. Grandy, so he adds another tight end to his crew. He adds Mark Andrews, Rashid Shaheed. Dirty P takes, after Higgins, he took Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt. So Krosky-Merritt watch ends at pick 104. B-Spurf, he takes Sharbs and Loveland. I had Sharbs in my queue, and if Prescott went, so obviously I like the Sharbs pick. And then Colston Loveland goes there. I was not expecting Sharbs to make that out. Just noting that he was, I was willing to take him at pick 99. Could it be a bigger split with Ken Walker? Could be. Some of the reporting has said that it could really be more 50-50 than pure contingency. Or week 1 could start and Charbonnet gets 5 touches and he really is a contingent back. But I if you're building zero RB like B-Spurf has, I think Sharbs is a pretty nice upside swing in the where he goes in the draft. All right, B. Grandy on the clock. He takes Jared Goff. Makes sense. He got a couple of Lions on his team. Keenan Allen goes. All right, let's see what TK0 does here. He take Bigsby. I hate to do it. I'm really not trying to get a gorillion % of Scatabo, but I need a running back, and I'm taking Scatabo ahead of Mixon, B-Rob, and these other jabronis. So we'll take a Cam Scatabo share, and then we're going to take probably another running back, but we'll have to figure out who that is later, unless we want a quarterback. Let's see who makes sense on our team. I don't think any quarterbacks in this range at 123 actually make any sense for us, so we can continue to push our second and third potential quarterbacks to later in the draft. All right, T-Car, he winds the clock all the way to 00 before taking J.J. McCarthy as his third quarterback he has Jordan Addison at least. Okay, so was not a complete mystery pick there. At a certain point, Joe Mixon becomes tempting. I just don't know if we're actually at that point in the draft. Njoku makes a little bit of sense being that we have Jerry, Jeudy. I guess we'll take, I really wish I'd clicked a running back there instead of Njoku, but you know what? That's fine. We'll take Njoku. I don't really love him, especially with all the Fannin hype, but we do have Jeudy on this team, so we're making a little bit of a bet on Cleveland. I don't want to be totally out on Jeudy. He was one of my highest owned pre-draft players. I'm just, I'm a little spooked by Fannin Nation. I got to be honest with you, but I do a lot of, if I do a 3 tight end build, it's very rarely with Njoku as the 1 and then 2 late ones. It's either like Kincaid or somebody slightly better than him or higher, and then 3 late ones or just 3 really late ones. So we'll mix it up. I don't want to build the same team every time. So let's pull the board up, see what our friends are doing. B. Grandy, he takes Ramondre. Ramondre is who I probably would have clicked if I had nimbler fingers, but I knew I couldn't do it. Dirty P takes CJ Stroud, which makes sense because he was the Nico guy. So Dirty P gets his stack. He gets Higgins and Stroud stacked. Higgins, Stroud, and Nico. Love to see that. And now we get to see what B. Spurf does here. Eddie notes that week 9 also has Bucks and Eagles. Yeah, week 9 can get you. Week 9 can get you too. Hey, Mathology, morning chat. GM to you, Mathology. Thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us. We got a nice little BBM rolling along here. So B-Spurf takes the plunge on Mixon and Javonte Williams. I think, again, B-Smurf having gone 0 RB, the swing on Mixon makes a ton of sense because you could be buying a guy we were getting at pick 60 or even earlier. Wasn't he in the like mid 50s when this opened? Gets him at pick 132. If Mixon's healthy by the end of the year, that's going to be an absolute steal. And then Javonte taking a swing at the Dallas number 1. So I think, B-Smurf has a 0 RB thing going, and he's sticking with it. Dirty P takes another Dallas back in Jaden Blue, and B Grandy adds Tajay Spears to the fold. All right, let's see what we want to do here. Let's see, I think I'm just going to queue up Tua. I'm kind of agnostic as to these running backs in this range. They're all various degrees of mediocrity. I might be able to push it, but I don't want to risk that particular pick there. If I have to end with Tua and Dak on a team where I've done a Dak double, I'm willing to do that here. Sampson would make sense. I don't take a ton of Dylan Sampson, and I'm potentially taking him in back-to-back drafts, but I do have this, fairly robust Cleveland bet going here. Might take Brenton Strange if he comes. I really like Brenton Strange this season. Very high on him. I want pieces of that Jags offense, and we'll take Strange on the crew. So I feel better about my tight end room with Njoku and Strange there. And we will continue to, draft guys we like. We're going to draft guys we like in this draft. And let's see, B Grandy now up on the clock. So for the audio listeners, we have a 2-3-6-2 with Dak and Tua. Running back room of Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, and Cam Scatabo. Wide receiver room of CD Lamb, Tyreek Hill, George Pickens, DK Metcalf, Jerry Jeudy, and Michael Pittman. And then Njoku and Strange at tight end. So yeah, happy with the team again. We got our primary receivers stacked. So far, so good on that front. B Grandy adds Romeo Dobbs. Dirty P adds Dante Thornton at pick 152. The steam on Thornton is getting very steamy, but that's where he goes. It sounds like he's going to be the starting receiver on a Raiders team that I'm frankly somewhat excited about. So don't mind chasing him up there, especially with the way that the wide receivers, as we get more and more clarity in camp, it feels like the end of the draft is starting to condense around some picks. So, if you were able to correctly identify who those are early, you got it in good. It made it a lot easier to draft the later rounds, and now it's become trickier, which has led me to take tight end late because I feel like we still can identify tight ends who are not going to be pure zeros in round 17 and 18 a little easier now than especially the running backs that are left. And in certain rooms, running backs gets really, really thin there. B-Smurf adds another strong 0 RB back, but Sampson and then Matt Stafford. Dirty P takes Zach Ertz. So we are rolling along. Greg says, Dark Side, where's this Dolphin talk happening? Are you talking about the potential B-Rob rumors, Greg? I'm not sure, but either way, usually the Dolphin talk is somewhat negative. B Grandy, he takes Xavier Legette on his team. All right, so we're coming back up. Let's see what we can see as far as our team. How many QBs are left? Darnold, A-Rich, and Rodgers. Interesting here. Let's take a running back. Let's take Garendo. He's back at practice for San Francisco, so I think he makes sense as a pretty much a pure contingent bet, but also we have some clarity now. It seems like he's the backup. Jordan James is injured. He's like the only healthy body left there. So let's take a Garendo share. And then we have a decision to make. Do we want to take Daniel Jones to pair with Taylor and Pittman, or do we want to take Aaron Rodgers to pair with Metcalf? And I'm going to take Daniel Jones here for the simple fact that he's not going to be owned in every BBM. He's I don't know what his ownership is. I would really just be throwing out a random number, but I don't think he's going to be owned in everything. And he randomly can show week winning upside. And I think he just makes sense when you have Taylor and Pittman. Let's do that. I have plenty of Rodgers Metcalf teams. I think Daniel Jones is going to be a little underrepresented in BBM. So let's add him as our third QB. I didn't want to push him because you can take him naked, and there is potential for Jones, AD Mitchell, instant stacks for teams that need that. So we'll take Daniel Jones on this team and see how it goes. Darkside Dev sees it on Twitter. This Ricky guy from Twitter is saying that. All right. Yeah, Greg, I hate it so much. Just wait for cuts and take a vet to beat the Madison. Greg, we don't want that. We want Ollie Gordon. We don't want a veteran. We want Ollie Gordon. We just want Ollie Gordon pounding the rock like it's 2023 at Oklahoma State. That's what we're hoping for. I almost feel like A-Chain being hurt is bad for Gordon, because now I feel like it is more likely they do add somebody that could just be a nuisance all year. Like if it was just Madison going down, maybe the Dolphins stand pat. But then when everybody comes back healthy, it could be a little bit of a problem for us. So B-Spurf adds Tesla and A-Rich. So a B-Spurf, I don't know if you would have taken Jones or if you are just like Jones starting means A-Rich is playing in week 17, which honestly might just be correct. But I don't mind taking A-Rich still, because I think the chances of Daniel Jones playing all 17 games are very, very slim. But again, I'll take the plunge on that. Jones, again, I just think he's going to be underrepresented. And if for some reason, there's also a world where it goes Jones, A-Rich, and then back to Jones. Like these things can get a little weird with these bad quarterbacks. And maybe the answer is Hainer. Like I don't know, but we'll leave Hainer drafting for the true sickos and for the super flex people. All right, let's see what's coming to us. Probably makes sense for this team to take Ollie Gordon on a Tua team. Where we're going to be taking a couple more running backs. So let's take Ollie Gordon on the team. I'm sure in 3 hours, they'll announce that the Dolphins have signed, Mike Allstott or something. And this is going to seem silly, but we'll add him to the crew and then figure out what we want to do with our last picks. Again, with this wide receiver room, I'm probably going to stop there. Let's see, which running backs do we like? All right, let's do Chris Rodriguez. I don't think I have Chris Rodriguez on any BBM teams, but let's take the plunge on that at pick 195. I think he is now draftable and could actually be fairly involved on the team. So now we've got a 3-6-6-2 with Dak, Tua, and Daniel Jones, Jonathan Taylor, Tony Pollard, Cam Scatabo, Isaac Garendo, Ollie Gordon, and Chris Rodriguez. A wide receiver room of CeeDee Lamb, Tyreek Hill, George Pickens, DK Metcalf, Jerry Jeudy, and Michael Pittman Jr. And then David Njoku and Brenton Strange there in the tight end room. Let's see what our friends are doing. B. Grandy, since we last checked in, he took Iomenor and DJ Giddens. I will not attempt to pronounce Iomenor like Jacob Sanderson pronounced his fellow Canadian's name. I can't do it right. I will embarrass myself, but I don't think Iomenor is right, but it's the best I can do. Dirty P takes Chig Okonkwo and Taj Brooks. I like both those picks, and then we'll see what B-Spurf does. So I probably kind of got to get out of here at 10 today, but I think that might leave enough time after this for one of those 6-person drafts. So I think I'll try to fire up one of those. We can see how those look together. But if you haven't liked and subscribed, please do so. It helps keep the lights on. I'm so excited. We're trying to get to 200 subs. You could be the one to help get us there. But yeah, this has been so much fun. NFL season starts in 2 weeks, so we are truly down to crunch time here. So again, thank you all so much for hanging out. Love doing these morning streams with you all. Beyond tomorrow, and frankly, when the season starts, we'll still be doing them. We'll just be doing BRs. So we'll I don't know how Monday's going to work, because I don't know if the big contests are out on Mondays, but I think by then I can't even remember the Battle Royale stuff's names, but we'll be in the streets. Whatever we can do, we'll be out there. So B-Spurf, he does the instant late stack with A-Rich and AD Mitchell. So that is, again, this is something you can do. Whether you do it with Jones or A-Rich is a matter of preference, and he takes Blake Corum. Makes sense. Dirty P takes Jalen Lane. I believe you were the Daniels drafter, so Lane makes a ton of sense. B. Grandy takes Devontae Walker, a name I have not seen drafted too much, so like that, because I believe you were the Lamar drafter. And then we need a tight end, and I will continue to beat the drum on Michael Mayer. Should be drafted in stuff, and he is kind of a fun contingent value pick who could actually have some upside on his own. So I'll take him. I think he's going to be super underrepresented if you get to week 17, and I don't, God forbid something happens to Brock Bowers. I think Michael Mayer is a smash, and I think he might have a little bit of standalone value anyway. So we'll see. All right, Beast. Let's see. Let me hop in the next one because I want to make sure I get into a pick 6. I'm going to hop in. I'm not going to try to count it down because these are small, and I think that might just be worse. So we're going to get in. Waiting for one. If you want to get in, hop on in. BBMDB has Jones at 40%. Obviously, we'll go up going forward, but maybe 55. Yeah, and I think having those unowned pieces is going to be super valuable there. Beastburp says, I'm taking both Jones and AR route the same. Lots of zigzagging, I think. Just like both their upside if they're playing 100%. And that's why I took him on that team, because I think they're both guys that should be rostered and have those spike week upside. Was it 3 years ago now, or even 4 years ago, where Daniel Jones was just an absolute smash, and all season long. And I think that's a different circumstance because he didn't have competent backup behind him, and he still was younger, so he had more of a leash with the Giants. But he's shown upside, and they have a good offensive line. It's gonna be the best offensive line he's ever been on. He's playing indoors. Got to think that the turf is better, so if he's sprinting towards the end zone, he won't trip over his own feet. So you never know. Maybe if that game was in Indy, he would he'd still be a starter, or not have gone through this period of being a backup. Greg says, Ollie and Achane aside, the trade talk is damning for Wright. I'd say Wright is, I'm not drafting Wright. I think the Shadow Realm. Draft Primetime Palooza on Mondays. Oh God, Primetime Palooza is so brutal. Those single game contests, I just feel like are a money pit for me. So my overall strategy in these, I think, is mostly going heavy running back. You need what do you need for your roster? So quarterback, 1 flex, 4 bench, and then 2 running back, 2 receivers. So you only need to start 2 wide receivers, and I think you can get those later than the running backs, and we tend to want running backs in our flex in this kind of thing anyway. So all right, so that guy agrees. He takes CD Lamb. Let's take Genty. Let's just boomer it up. Let's take Genty Henry. I kind of want to go Genty Lamb. I know I'm just all you need are running backs, and then I'm not doing that. But you know what? No, let's take Genty Henry. Let's do it. I think we can find some fun wide receivers somewhere else. Joel says, late to the party this morning, but GM. Hey, Joel, GM to you. Thanks so much for coming in and hanging out. But yeah, Mathology, I think they have is it the playbook? They have that one 50 max early contest. And I think that comes out on Mondays. So maybe that's what we'll do. Either way, that is to say I'm not going anywhere. So we'll be doing stuff. We'll be in the streets. Greg says, that Hawkberg dude drafts really good teams. Feel like I get beat up every time I run into that guy. Is Hawkberg the guy that took, is he in here? Okay. He's at the, he's there in the 3 hole. All right. I'll pull up the board so people can see what's going on. Greg, I hope you're secretly Hawkberg and you're that Hawkberg guy. He's watch out for him. And it's just you. But no, I know you're Mooncat, Greg. So unless you're have an alt, which I believe against the terms of service. Hawkberg, however, if he is good, then I'm doing this completely wrong because he's going 3 wide receivers. Maybe he's of the opinion that his edge is finding late running back value, but I've messed up the auto scroll here. All right, let's take Jonathan Taylor here. Let's take Jonathan Taylor, and maybe we take an elite quarterback. maybe we do Jaden Daniels. So let's take Jonathan Taylor and Jaden Daniels. We're going 0 wide receiver in this format. We're filling our flex with a running back in the ideal world, and we'll see what we can come up with that receiver. Maybe I'm already dead. Maybe I'm already dead, and this is not how you're supposed to build these contests. But we're gonna find out anyway. Greg says, no, he bounced me from a few playoff brackets last week and was always drafting at like 5 a.m. Just grinding those 5 a.m. drafts. But if he's drafting at 5 a.m., that means you're drafting at 5 a.m., Greg. So that is hardcore. Beef Smurf says, I think BR's draft around 9 or 10 a.m. Central. Seems like during Pete's stream. Okay. I'll see. Yeah, I'll message Underdog and be like, hey, this little stream needs the BRs up a couple hours earlier. See what you can do. But yeah, maybe it will be primetime Paloozas on Mondays. Oh God. Oh, last year. Gotcha. ATX Bearcat Robusto. Yes, you're both coffee and running backs is the way to go with Robusto. Steve says, I think elite QB is crucial and generally go heavy RB as well. B-Spurf asks, any Scatabo Rookie of the Year futures? No, but I will place that. I will place that bet, actually. My only future is actually a Giants future, which was Jackson Dart Offensive Rookie of the Year at like 50-1. Which we'll see if that has any life to it. I can't remember who recommended it. It was somebody a lot smarter than me, like Herzig or Silva or one of those guys. All right, let's take Tyreek Hill. Let's take Tyreek Hill and MHJ on this team because I need wide receivers. I don't know how else to describe these picks. I need wide receivers, and we'll take the two of them. I love Garrett Wilson. I take tons of him. I think he would have been fine. I'm hoping that because these guys all need running backs, that now I can get I could potentially get Garrett Wilson or Xavier Worthy wrapping around. I think that would be pretty nice. So I also don't really know how to allocate bench spots. I don't know if it's like 2-4-4-2 is how I want to do that. My instincts say that is how I want to do these. I don't think I want to stop at 3 running backs, but maybe I do. I don't know. I haven't given this a whole heck of a lot of thought, and I don't think there's been a great deal of content on these. So it's an interesting format. I like the thought exercise, but I'm kind of doing this on the fly with you all. Greg says 5 a.m. cardio club was a staple off season. The summer took its toll, and I fell off. Well, you know what? The fall is coming, and the fall is the best time to go for those morning runs. When the air is nice and crisp, and you don't get too hot. So you can bring back the cardio club. B-Sparf, the Rookie of the Year board is interesting. Going to bet something, but not sure what. Yeah, I'd be lying if I said I'd really taken a look at it, but I'm definitely curious. As to. My assumption would be the running backs are going to be overpriced, but like a wide receiver is randomly going to win it. Like, I don't know what like Tet McMillan's price is going to be, but like I could see the Cardinals being a fun story the league wants to push if they're any good, something like that. So I don't know. That's just my like random kind of initial thought there. Let's optimistically queue up Xavier Worthy here. If Worthy goes, we still need a running back or wide receiver. All right, we'll take JMO. And then this receiving tier is very flat. I kind of think I want to take another elite QB, go JMO Kyler here. I don't see, this could be bad. This could be bad, people. But some people are saying you only even need to draft one quarterback. To me, that doesn't feel right. Like I don't think that's the answer, because I think if you get 2 good quarterbacks, you could lap people. Like, I don't even know. Maybe you can go double elite in this, like you can in Badge Bros Brawls. Now, that's different because those are 20-round drafts. So I think double elite QB is a lot more viable. Is it viable in a 10-round draft? I feel like most people would tell you no, but I also don't know. Again, I haven't done enough of these to know how much it thins out, but I don't know. It's very interesting. Like, whoever we get at pick 54 and 55 is still going to be a very good player. And if we choose correctly, the QBs can separate. So anyway, I don't know. I did want to stack Kyler and MHJ on there, being that I don't have a stacking partner for Daniels yet, but I have somebody in mind for who I want there, who I imagine will largely be undrafted or will go, probably not in every time, which is Debo. So I'll pencil in Debo as my fourth receiver and then hope I get another running back that I am into. All right. Let's see. Steve says, I think 2-4-4-2 is the best option. Make sure you don't have 4 combined bye guys. I haven't even looked at my buys. I got problems in week 8, folks. I got problems in week 8, Steve. Not great. The Gail. Hey, first of all, Gail, thanks so much for coming, hanging out. This is not the first quarter draft. This is I don't even know what you call this content. The pick 6. This is the pick 6, which are the 10 round 6-person draft. So this is the new contest that launched 2 days ago. I don't know. The time is all blending, but it's a new contest and it's a format I haven't really done yet. Tyreek Hill and MHJ hit the plane, end the stream, take a nap, try again later. Thanks for the confidence, Dirty P. I always appreciate it. Scatabo is plus 5,000. Travis Hunter plus 1,000 teams tempted. Yes, I don't think that's enough. I don't think those are long enough for Scatabo. Let's see, week 10 bye, week 12 bye. Let's swing. Oh no, I think I need a week 10 bye more than week 12. All right, we'll go Debo and we'll go Pollard to end this team. So this was a 2-4-4 with Jaden Daniels, Kyler Murray, and then Genty, Henry, Taylor, and Pollard at running back. Wide receiver room of Tyreek, Marvin Harrison, Jamison Williams, and Debo Samuel. I don't know enough of these to say if this team is good. My instincts are to somewhat agree with Dirty P that Hill and MHJ are not strong enough. But if we treat Hill like he should have been the 103, maybe it is. We have MHJ with Kyler, so if that bet pays off, we're good. And I simply think JMO and Debo are massively undervalued. So maybe this team's good. Maybe it's not. I'll do some more and hopefully we'll figure it out together. Steve says, yeah, I definitely not draft a single QB. The bye week alone will nuke you even if you hit the best QB in the week. Yeah, that's where I'm at, Steve. FK Coolers, I've done 25 now. My first entry was single QB. Decided that was not the way. Yeah, again, the first content I heard suggested that. I can't remember where I heard that. And I just don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. Unless you would really need the BBM2 Liam year where Josh Allen just was nuclear the entire season and you could get by with just that. And I think that's a little thin. Plus you get to the playoff weeks, every other team that makes it there is going to have him. I struggle with that. Plus most combos from the other elites will beat you. Agree there. Swallowing the hook on Fandom now. Are we? Like it? Absolutely, Dirty P. I'm in. I don't know if you're behind or if you're just going back from where I was. Oh no, because you mentioned this team. But yeah, I'm in on Fanon. 4 combined bye weeks would have you taking a 0 at flex. See, Steve, am I at 4? No, I'm only at 3 on week 8. We're good. Wait, I'm 45 minutes behind. Oh, I don't know, Dirty P. It's so funny because you're 45 minutes behind and I drafted Hill and MHJ. It's so good. All right. The card schedule's nice early. MHA could start hot. Cards are awesome for the week 1 to 4 contest. Dog, YouTube lagged out and hit the rewind. Dirty P, that's hilarious because that's literally the same team I'm on now. So history repeats. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming in. Appreciate it. If on the way out, you could hit the like, you could hit the sub. It would do a ton for me. But I will see you all tomorrow. Take care, everyone.